And we are back on 91.3 FM WBNY. We are Buffalo's original alternative, and we have been for over 30 years.
33 and a third.
33 and a third. And yeah, I lost track. I live in a different country, so my brain's kind of addled. We're here with another wonderful guest, the incomparable Kim. How are you?
I'm doing great, people. How are you today?
We're excellent.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you as well. And happy Easter to all of our listeners, all of our Hebrew, Shebrew, and Christian listeners, and those who do not practice as well. Happy
and
Sunday.
our pagans too, you know.
Yeah.
That is true. You bring up a good point.
Yep.
I'm too tired right now to be like yes, handle everyone. I'm just like, who do I most associate Easter with? Jews and Christians. Yes, let's go with that. So Kim, we're going to be with you for the next hour, give or take. So why exactly are we interviewing you today?
Well, the reason I really wanted to come on the show when you guys contacted me was my name's actually, a lot of people know me as Kalifornia Kim. I'm the sax player from RANDALL and the Late Night Scandals, which we had a lot of buzz over the last couple of years.
And is playing in the background right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, yeah. Don't waste my time on our album Cheap, Boozy, Dangerous. Hey, there's my plug-in already.
There you go.
Woo.
Keep plugging it. This is your hour.
I
Keep
was
doing
actually,
it.
yeah, I was just kind of coming on here, just also, just saying, hey, man, call in too. I just kind of wanted to deal with a lot of the questions I get that people are afraid to ask. They see me up there, kind of clear up things that, I'm not just up there wearing stage makeup. I'm MF transsexual, and that's how I identify. And yeah, so. And kind of just wanted to share how it kind of influences the local Western New York music scene.
Right.
And share some stories about that. Also, I have some stories about just coming out and not coming out. I mean, that kind of backfired, which being in a band that starts winning awards and opening up for national acts kind of like, oh, you can move 2,800 miles away, but then all of a sudden, social media, what happens when your daughter finds out, oh, hey, Daddy Tim is Kalifornia Kim in a popular rock band. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going at, and open to anything else.
So we'll ask you some questions for sure. If anybody wants to call in and ask questions to Kalifornia Kim, feel free to call us 716-878-5104. Keep it classy. You guys know what that means. Class with a C, not class with a capital K.
Wow.
So,
Well, as Kalifornia Kim, I would definitely take the class with the K.
but I mean, yours is alliteration. The class that I want to avoid is just not class.
Yeah. Well, I even invite the trolls to call on my Facebook page when I posted and shared today. So
That's fair.
I am welcome to trolls.
Okay, if you can troll and keep it radio
Keep
friendly,
it classy.
yes,
Very.
then you may also call in.
Awesome.
So now, Kim, the first question I have is, how early on did you discover your love for music? Just like outside of the whole transgender spectrum, like how did you discover your love for music, and how did that get started? Like in your early life, or possibly even in your midlife, where did you start?
Well, that's actually a funny story. I really did not find I was a late bloomer on finding my love for music. Granted, I've been playing sax since I was 9 years old. So to age myself, over 37 years, and the reason I picked up saxophone was because I didn't want to go to PE class.
That's a good enough reason.
So I just kind of faked it, I mean, I still really can't read music very good. I just kind of had a good memory, and so I just kind of took band just to get out of other stuff. And it wasn't until my high school year that all of a sudden I blossomed. I didn't listen to any of the standard sax players that they tell you to in Jazz Lab 1 or whatever. I mean, my influences were Eddie Van Halen and an electric violin player called John Lipani, and that's kind of where I developed practicing their licks. Of course, listening to a lot of Frank Zappa. But yeah, so it wasn't until my junior and senior year of high school that I finally noticed, okay, I have something different. Started winning a lot of competitions in band and getting my scholarships, and I actually got kicked out of jazz band once because we're at a jazz competition, and I was always kind of thought outside the box of music, so we've been practicing. I mean, it was a horrible song, Sweet Georgia Brown. I mean, that's a standard, you know. In front of all these judges, I got up and did a mouthpiece solo instead of a sax solo, and my band director after the performance pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, you're out of here," like that. But then I got won pop best soloist for that competition. So so I really didn't take a liking to the music until after high school. I grew up in a household actually that did not like music.
Really?
That's possible?
That is possible. My father, the only song I think he ever played was King of the Road, and
Well,
like in fact, here's the story. By my senior year, I was rated second best tenor sax player in the state of Oregon, and so I toured all summer with the Oregon All Stars. I came back, and here I have all these talent grants, and I wanted to borrow $500 to just get an apartment to go to this Multnomah community college. And he looked at me and goes, "Music's not a major," so.
Oh, one of those.
So I did my first term of college living out of a 69 Volkswagen Bug.
Wow.
In Portland, Oregon. Lived on the street, which was hard. And then I later transferred to the University of Oregon and made it into the Jazz Lab 1 program, but and just kind of ran out of money and dropped out. But yeah, I was, which was kind of interesting, so, and I held that grudge for years. I mean, it still comes up in therapy of how much of a sucker my father was. But then I did some research, found out my grandfather was a sax player. He played with the Son of the Pioneers and overdosed on heroin back in the 30s.
Wow.
Leaving my father a man of the house at age 7. So now after my father's passed, I can cut him a little slack, I guess. I can see why he was afraid of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That even beyond like anything like related to like transitioning and everything, you still have that kind of like tumultuous thing with your family.
Oh yeah.
I know that because when I grew up I was like I was always playing the trombone from I think I started when I was like 10 or 11.
yeah, I think that's when they start that.
Yeah, it because I started in 5th grade, so it was
yeah, that's probably that age.
yeah,
That's about right.
yeah, I was 10
depending
when I was
on when
5th
your
grade.
birthday falls.
Yeah, I know I was 10 because I was 13 when I was in 8th grade. But and I know that like at the very least, like my dad for all of his like macho, like sports and like football, and he at least appreciates music. And like he's the one that also like with trying and failing to get me into sports, he also like got me like Ben Folds 5, said like this is piano rock, listen to it, and I was like okay, cool. And he at least was not he at least was not a against music. He actually tried to start a band. It was not a very good band, but he started it. It was like a crappy cover band of like he called it the Igniters. It was just like it was so bad. Like they covered Smash Mouth and they covered I Want to Fly, and he was he was the part of the obnoxious guy that just like how to Safai. I'm like I'm like 8 years old and I'm just like I'm 8 years old and I'm embarrassed. I'm like this like I'm this young and I know this is wrong. But but yeah, like at least I can say like and this is not a competition by any stretch. I'm just saying like it was just more like a funny like anecdote. Like at least my dad was like supportive of me like with the music thing. But it just like it's really interesting to go to show like just like how tumultuous it was like for you growing up, at least in that aspect.
Oh yeah. It was like I say, I still always relate to that PE story because I mean I think that also dealt with my transgender issues and having a problem with identity. I hated PE and I did anything to get out of PE or being in a locker room.
Yeah,
So
join the club. Only for so my high school did not allow that. I was in band and forced to do PE regardless.
Yeah, that's a nice luxury. I remember sometimes with music lessons, because I'm also a musician. I've been playing. I play like 5-6 different things, but you grow up and you take violin lessons, and the teacher was very, very kind, and when I didn't want to go to a math class, I'm like, can I do a lesson at this time on Thursday? And they're like,
right.
Yeah, sure, just let your teacher know. But that's just math.
But so I had a question, and my brain was just like, nope, haha, blank slate, and now I forgot what the question was. Oh yeah. So before the interview started, Kim, you were telling me how you got with the band you're with now.
Yeah, it's kind of this is what I call winning the music lottery. Is what I call it. When I moved to Buffalo in 2001, and I kind of started my own little thing. Actually, even without hardly playing horn, I started this kind of underground punk band. We called ourselves Invisible Children, and I kind of just formed it because it was just right after 9/11. One of my best friends in Portland, Lonnie Akunwa, she got murdered, and it was total hate crime. I mean, well, it's obviously a hate crime. I don't know why whenever a transgender gets, murdered, it's always a blunt object to the head. But, so I had a lot of anger, so I decided I just started writing music and formed this band. I played it with a 4-string guitar and started performing like at Nietzsche's and some of the bookstores and all that, and putting on and kind of just made a story of it. It was kind of a story of a character I called the Raven, and it was based on the resurrection of the Raven, and so I just basically kind of just told the stories that happened to me. So I dealt with, the murder. It was a song called The Eye That Beholds You, and it was right around Pride when I premiered it. It was like, no more parades today, tonight we march, the eye that beheld you made up its mind long before the story broke. And so, I dabbled around with some music, then played in a hip-hop band, and then I just kind of found out, okay, here I am. Oh, it's just like, can I use the word tranny? Of course, because I'm transgender. You can't. No.
You can use it in this context, yeah.
So, I came to the point like, okay, well, there's just the tranny in the band, I kind of started feeling like the dancing bear. So I just hung up music for 7 years. And then like in 2012, I had a really bad doctor appointment. So it was right before my vacation. So it's like, Kim, you're not doing something right. I want you to log everything you do, So I was just like, all right, you want to know what I do. So it's my vacation, so I logged everything. Okay, I had, 3 bourbon and 6 PBRs. Birthday cake, wrote it down. And I just started on this whole rant. So I'm on this big drinking binge on my vacation. It's right during the Infringement Festival. And so I'm a little lit, and there's this girl that I was kind of attracted to, so I just start, blah, like any, egotistical musician would. Yeah, well, I used to play, because back on the West Coast, I opened up for Cherry Poppin' Daddies and Curtis Salgado and toured with the Crazy Eights, and I, blah, blah, blah. And she called me out on it. She goes, BS, So it was like at the open mic at Nietzsche's, and so she signs me up on the list. So I go up and grab my horn, and it's literally had not even been in the case, and my reed had a hole in it, literally, looked like a hole was drilled through it. And I picked up my horn. Okay, I called her bluff, so I played, and like everybody said, wow, that performance stuck to the walls of Nietzsche's, So so it just kind of got me involved in the Infringement Festival. So I went to this event, and there was Randall and the Late Night Scandals playing right before me, so I'm warming up. And so to decide, our lead singer, Amanda Markovich, kind of starts hearing what I'm doing, the groove, like, all right, I like this. And she goes, God, I wanted to invite you up, and I wanted to go up. So after the performance, they invited me sit in on a show, a month later. So I went online and learned all their songs from every video they had posted. And I sat in with them. Halfway through their set, she turned to me and goes, Kim, I want to travel the world with you. Will you join my band? So, and I said,
Nice.
yes.
That's probably the best luck ever.
So, and then, it's done all the great things that's happened to us. I jumped in right at the right time, with good promoters, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like charisma, kismet. Is that the word I want to use? It was just incredible. And, and I was still like freaking, okay, now I'm leaving the village of Allentown and I'm going to be playing, all these more typically not queer-friendly bars. And I was scared. I mean, I was literally like, oh, God, am I going to be able to do this? And so we're playing this private party. Third gig in. It's like some pig roast. And some guy starts heckling me, and Amanda jumps right off the stage and grabs him by the throat and says, don't you disrespect her or any other members of my band, or I'll take my mic cord and strangle you, and pushed him on the ground. And at that moment
awesome.
there, I said, okay, I'm in the right band, the right family.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes it great. Like when you like that feeling that you found, people that you can call like family. You know?
Exactly. And that's what makes our band successful. We are a family. We're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what friends do we got? And then we just go, well,
each other.
That's
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
We have no social life but ourselves. In fact, on my Facebook, I'm in a civil union, and that's the civil union. It's, with Amanda, our lead guitarist Luke Bennett, and bass player Rob Smarter. I didn't partner to the drummer because we go through more drummers like Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Drummers are hard to find, and then they come and go.
At some point, like, I mean, I'm not the guy that runs the local show, but I'll definitely like I think it'd be great to have all you guys on like together.
Oh yeah, we
know?
definitely have 2 sax players too. I'm not sure if Craig is still in town, if he's not in New York City, but the one guy who runs the local show is Nick Lippa. And
Wait, Nick's running now, or is it Chappie still?
Chappie does, and Nick also does. He does the interview stuff like normal. I believe he still does that. But him and this guy Craig Abraham, during our Music is Art Fest, there's this video, and I was at the table, and they were busting out this saxophone, like this hard, funky, like, it was offbeat, and it was the weirdest thing ever. But it was like spoken word yelling, kind of rambling.
Oh, wow.
And then they were going back in this like funky, hard sax thing, and both of them were duetting, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
That does sound amazing.
And it was like raining outside too, and there was like a crowd of at least 30 people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like Nick definitely like I think Nick would enjoy like talking to you, Kim, but also like I feel like I just like it would be great to hear like the entire band, like just hear that like camaraderie and like friendship that like because you speak so highly of them, I can't imagine that's going to be anything but. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's just great. Not only the band itself, but just even the whole circle of the Western New York music scene.
Oh yeah,
the
that's the one thing that I've noticed is like everybody knows everybody.
I mean, a good example is in 2014, I was coming home from rehearsal, and I fell down 20 stairs and broke my ribs. And then all of a sudden I wake up in ICU, and then a day later I find out I'm going in for an emergency quad bypass. And so there was a lot of, wow, like what am I going to do?
One thing after another. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah. Music's how I make my living, So how everybody came together and rallied and raised funds for me and remodeled my apartment. And I mean, they're the best family I could have.
Yeah.
So
And just like for the most part, like everybody in this scene down here, and again, like there's exceptions, like there are every other place, but like everybody that I've met, almost everybody at least, in the Western New York music scene is just so nice and giving and understanding and friendly, because you meet a lot of people coming through the station. Like I was here like as a regular DJ for 7 years, and just like I met like all these people, and like I'd say 95% of them were just like stand up people, just
very
like
much
incredibly nice, incredibly friendly, would give you the shirt off their back, and I think that just says a lot about, like I don't know if it's just like, people in the music scene, but I think it just says a lot about, like Buffalo in general, just how people are in that scene.
Giving community with that.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And plus, like I say, call it. I'm lucky that I don't have to leave the village too much. Living on Allen Street. It's just like.
Oh yeah.
They kind of watch me grow up. So it takes a village to raise a Kim, so they say.
I like that.
Yep.
But hey, why don't we take a short break, guys? And then why don't you put on another
song
track?
by
What number track do you want on here, Kim? We just played one, as you know. So
I would like to hear The Itch. I think that is a track. Oh God, what track is that?
Which one is it?
It's on the CD itself, I think. So
okay.
You wouldn't be able to see it.
Oh, darn
Because
it.
that's a massive taxi you're holding.
It is. Oh man, that's not. It's on the CD. Okay. So everything's safe to play over air, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we played number 1. So what about we go with number 2?
Okay.
All right.
This is a song about domestic violence.
Ooh.
Oh, so
which
fitting
is
with
another topic of this week.
Yes, it is.
Right.
We'll be back very soon. This is Week of the Warriors. We are here with California Kim. I am Chris Durand.
I'm DJ Red.
And we'll be back momentarily. This is 91.3 FM, WBNY.
Why don't throw a brick through my window, baby? Zip it, cause I asked you to leave.
All right, you're listening to 91.3 FM, WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982.
1982.
Ooh, 1982, back in that. Wait, I wasn't born yet. Anyway, we are here back again with Kimberly Young Mason and
AKA California Kim.
Yep, Kalifornia Kim. So we're gonna hear a story now.
Yeah. Just a crazy transition story. I guess the moral of the story is to be true to your family. Don't hide stuff. I moved to Buffalo actually just to kind of transition to hide away from. I grew up in a little timber town in Roseburg, Oregon, type of town. Even if you looked anyway a little queer, they chain you to the back of a truck and drive you over a timber trail.
Well, that's never fun.
Yeah,
that's not what I like to do on Saturday nights.
So I escaped. Moved out. I followed a girl out here to Buffalo. The little fact that people didn't know was I had a daughter that didn't know I was, her biological father. And so I started transitioning in 2001 and kind of just watched her from afar, stalking her on Facebook, So I'm already living full time, working at a ocean of gray cubicles for an international bank that you could have hot sauce and baked clams, and driving home. And so what I used to do was my mother knew that I had transitioned, but she was the only one in my family. In fact, the orders were, I couldn't even come out to the rest of the family until my father passed away.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, it was February. And so I used to always do, how you have those obligatory calls that you got to do to your parents.
Yeah.
So I'd always pick to do it when I'd be driving home from work so I could have an out, the traffic, or it's snowing really bad. Bye, Mom, love you,
Bye, I love you.
Yeah, but I gotta go.
I'm not running away from my feelings.
So anyway, I'm driving home, and all of a sudden she brings up, oh, well, I just wanted to let you know that this girl called and said she was the daughter of, Jerry, and I won't say her last name, but, and I almost wrecked my car. I'm like, oh, really? She goes, yeah, she was trying to find you, Now, my mother's one of those type of people with privacy, especially with being transgender. I don't care if the Pope called her. She wouldn't tell anybody any personal information or how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
So she goes, yeah, so this girl called looking for you. So I like, oh, man. I've been waiting for that for, for 15 years, So let me get my thoughts here.
It's fine.
It's an emotional moment for me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh no, I was bummed. She goes, she laughs, don't worry. She gave me her number. So I drive home and I'm just looking at this phone number. I wrote it down on this. I still have the ATM slip. I wrote it down on. I was staring at it and like, okay, I'll call. And I get the call and it's actually her mother's cell phone. I'm like, oh no.
That had to be awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward. So, it's like, it's this generic message. Hi, I got this call the number, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she called. She finally calls back and says, hey, I guess, God, I forgot the backstory. The reason she wasn't with me was her mother was separated from her husband and wanted to assume that, my daughter was her husband that she was trying to get back with.
Yeah.
So, anyway, she calls up, Dad, I know what my mother did to you, and I know you're my father, and I just want to be part of your life, 15-year-old. So, it's just like, truthfully, there wasn't a day that I hadn't thought of her,
Exactly.
I had every picture I could on my wall,
yeah.
of course. But she just found her father, Now the dilemma I worked with was like, okay, well, out of 6 years I've been living my life as Kim.
Yeah.
Transition to work and everything. So I hid this from her, and because I just didn't want to lose her again.
Oh, yeah.
So, this went on. She wanted to come. I mean, immediately, 2 weeks later, I'm on a plane flying back out to Portland, Oregon to meet her. I was so excited. So I called it going in butch mode, Put on the 8th bandage to flatten down the girls, and tried to look as butch as I could. I almost looked like Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Your dad's cool. He looks like Ozzy. Because I was kind of goth. Went for the goth look, I guess.
Yeah.
And
it's the easiest way to be neutral.
So, yeah, and everything was going good. And then all of a sudden she goes, well, I want to come spend the summer with you.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, no. Of course. So all my friends, when she came out to spend the summer with me, we purged my apartment of anything that would even show me being femme. And
God.
I called it my 3 weeks of reverse cross-dressing. I would live there butch. All my friends were, trained to call me by my birth name. And
that had to be weird.
And I would literally leave because I had to work a few days while she was visiting. So I would literally leave my apartment dressed all butch and stop at the gas station and then present myself femme so I could go to work.
Yeah.
And change back when I come home. So this went on, and then when I'd go visit her, of course, I would always change butch, So once the band started getting a lot of press on social media, especially when we were in the finals for that Hard Rock Rising and second runner-up, and my page just started blowing up like crazy, and all of a sudden, it was like Christmas 2012, my daughter calls me up and goes, Dad, I gotta know something. And I go, yeah, what's that? This California Kim thing. Is this a gimmick, or is this really you?
Oh.
And I finally just said, well, it's really me,
Oh, okay.
And she was a little hurt by it, but she just said, well, Dad, I loved you then and I love you now. And, she named my grandson after me, after my male name. So, I mean.
Well, at least that name lives on in some way.
Yeah, exactly. So, and now it's all cool. I mean, the whole family on her side.
Yeah.
On my daughter's side of the family. That sounds a little weird, doesn't it? They've all
a little bit, but, it's understandable.
Yeah, so it's like everything's all cool now. They all accept me.
That's always the best.
The only people that don't accept me is my brother, and he's just not cool with the stage makeup, as he says. So that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So how's the deal? I got a beautiful daughter, grandson, granddaughter. They call me Tran Daddy Tim, and I'm fine with that.
That's adorable.
I love it. A lot of my trans friends think, "Oh, don't you get offended by that?" I think that rocks.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, the fact that a 3 and a 5-year-old even knows what transgender is.
Oh yeah.
And they refer to me as their Tran Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
man, that's my badge.
Yeah. Right. No, I bet that has to be very interesting for them. On the past hour, I talked about Laura Jane Grace because
I love her.
She's the best, and she was for her Devouring Mothers thing. She in the crowd, she was talking about how her daughter legitimately gets mad when people, or maybe it was her series on AOL I was watching. I get it mixed up because I just follow her. And her daughter legitimately gets mad when people use the wrong pronouns. And,
I know, right?
Oh, my God. It's just like this. It's amazing because it's like this kid is aware and understands. And it's like, see, kids can understand and get it. No problem.
Yeah, I've never been really a militant transgender. It's just like, I understand. I never get upset over the wrong pronouns.
No. It happens.
I mean, if you do, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah. Exactly.
I call it living with filters on.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
which can be dangerous, but
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of funny, actually. I ran these vlogs for a while, and I actually did an experiment to see if I did have too many filters on. And so I put a hidden camera on the back of my head and went shopping. And thinking, okay, am I missing something? You know, because I don't seem to have too many problems, you know, or I don't notice the staring or the pointing and all that.
Yeah.
And then when I really realized in this world now, since we're such a smartphone nation, nobody's looking at anybody.
No.
They're all looking at their freaking phones. You know?
That is true.
So that was just kind of an interesting tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have?
Do you know of any other local trans musicians or anyone that you just kind of shoot the breeze with and want to work with or anything like that?
You know, I don't. I would love to. I mean, I'd love to reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my ideal band, actually.
Right?
I think.
That'd be really cool.
I mean, because I used to be inspired by the Toilet Boys. I don't know if you remember them. They were out of New York City.
Okay. I haven't heard of them, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're actually a band that was put together to back Deborah Harry. But then Deborah Harry didn't use them, so they went off and did their own thing. They were, you know, all three of them were transgender, and they're rock punk.
Oh, that's awesome.
That really inspired me. Kind of inspired me with my Invisible Children project that I had going on. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, let's see. What else is new with me?
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left, so whatever you want to talk about.
Well, like I said, as I brought in earlier, I get a lot of questions from the fans and all that, or assumptions that I'm up there on the stage. It's a gimmick, you know. 'Cause, I mean, we used to do campy things, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when I run my wireless, of course, you know, like hitting blow notes and blowing notes up, you know, Manta Stress or whatever. And a lot of people kind of perceive me as, just being stage makeup and kind of being a gimmick, and that sometimes kind of burns me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've had great experiences with this band. Met some great national acts. I think the only butthole national acts we met were the Los Lonely Boys. No, I shall never get hired by them again.
Oh my god.
But that was really. But I still got great support from the community.
No, that's good.
Like DJ from one of your other more mainstream, non-independent stations wrote one of the best reviews, and
oh wow,
that's what kind of I guess at that moment it's what kind of made me realize, okay, even though I'm just a sax player, kind of launched me kind of more to the front line, so to speak. Like, okay, so that's California Kim is kind of, I guess, a front person now, even though she just plays the sax.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least you get that recognition there, which is always positive for you. I mean, do you have any shows coming up?
We always have little shows. Actually, bigger shows. We'll be actually kicking off the second week of the Larkin Food Truck Tuesday on April 26th.
Yeah, been meaning to go down there.
And I'll give you an exclusive, although Elmwood Village has not released it yet. We will be returning this year to the Bidwell Concert Series on July 5th. So nice 4th of July. Yeah, I don't think we'll be playing any Philip Sousa marches, but plan to rock out the Elmwood Village. Those are our two big ones coming up.
That's awesome.
We'll be, if you guys want to check us out this week, we'll be doing the Saturday Matinee Blues Show at the Tudor Lounge this Saturday.
Oh, that's a very chill place.
Yeah, I like it there.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific favorite places you like to play around here?
I always call Nietzsche's our home
Yeah.
Or, I mean, well, I live above Nietzsche, so it's definitely home. It's an easy load in for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then if I get too drunk, it's easy to get home, too. As long as I don't fall down the stairs again.
Yeah,
you know?
that definitely would not be a good thing.
But, yeah, I think we always call Nietzsche's our home. Definitely. But, we play Sportsman Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess McCarthy's we call a second home, but Nietzsche's all the way.
Oh, yeah. Nietzsche's a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. So, any other things? I can lead out the rest of this hour with some of your music. So.
Yeah. I think just basically, my final thoughts are, it's I know it sounds like something out of a corporate video, but I just like to remember, the world is like a fruit salad, not marmalade. Be true to yourself and don't be afraid to be an outlaw. That's pretty much what I would say.
That sounds like a pretty sound advice.
All right.
All right, we're gonna continue more with the lovely music from California Kim. It was a pleasure having you on air and spending this Easter Sunday and the way to do it.
Yeah, now it's time to go get ham.
Yay, scalloped potatoes for me.
All right, thank you so much, Elle.
Yep,
for having me
no
on.
problem. Have a good rest of your day. Hope it gets awesome and you eat all of the ham.
You got it.
All right,
You take care.
here's more tunes.
Need a whiskey pillow to help me sleep. Need a whiskey pillow to bring me some relief. Ain't going anywhere. Ain't got no smoke to spare. Need a whiskey pillow to help me sleep. Need a whiskey pillow to bring me some relief. I ain't going anywhere. Ain't got no smoke to spare. Need a cocaine handshake to pick me up. Need a cocaine handshake when things are getting rough. Ain't got no place to be. Won't you spend some time with me? Been up all night playing these games. I wanna go home and wash away the shame. Ain't never felt so low. Never been so all alone. Ain't got no pride, baby, can't get alright.